This is Grangemouth. Here in a chemical works, skeleton buildings and complicated assemblies are beginning to take shape. And here, where tanks and vessels rise out of a thick carpet of mud, the engineers are dealing with one of their most delicate tasks. As engines move in time with the signals of watchful men, this towering column is being erected. It is a distillation column. It was manufactured in Greenwich and brought here by road transport, under the care of Mr. Skip and his crew of drivers and assistants.
Yes, we brought it here, me and my crew of 6. Yes, that job had its delicate bits too. As soon as I heard of it, I said to the wife, well, that's goodbye to another weekend.
Yeah, if it's Greenwich and it's a big load, you can bet your frozen assets there's a Sunday morning start. That's so's to miss the traffic and draw the crowds. It's a big one, too. 132 horizontal feet and 55 cylindrical tons. Some load for the makers to get off their minds. And it'll take us a good fortnight to get it off of ours. 500 grinding miles.
Well, let's get it round the corner first, mate. It's a foot at a time here, never mind the miles.
Okay, Gov, but you'll have to fix the bus stop before she'll start. Yeah, that's me. I drives the first tractor. But when we're fiddling and faddling about like this, we can't use more than one engine, so I has to park up and get some corns on me squeakers for a change. Come on, won't you come now? Don't know what all the fuss is about. Got to clear 3 inches. Easy. Real interested, ain't they? Can't be much in the papers this morning. Now, when Mr. Skip's finished his check, I mean, we'll get going. Okay, here we go.
I wonder how this lot's going to ride. First time they've even tried to shift anything as long as this by road. They give us some queer jobs at times. Last month they were a complete stone clock tower.
Yeah, talk about the transports of spring.
Now it's this geezer, big as a bridge, and as awkward as question time in Parliament. Once you're clear of London, you can fairly nip along. Get up to 10 or 12 miles an hour at times, and that takes some doing with this lot, believe me. 40 miles a day is good going, and it only needs a tight corner like this when it's at Albans to slow you right down.
Yep, we've started. I don't know what we do without the bobbies.
Of course, we don't buy any old route. But with a thing this size, you can't plan everything dead right. For instance, we were a bit scared of catching on this low bridge, but when we got there, we just used our common and kept to the crown, and, well, there was loads of room. It was the same with that rainy place, what's it called, Manchester. Well, I wasn't exactly jumping with joy to get at this corner. Yet, when we came to it, we were no more bother than taking a driving test. But it's just when you think you got a clear run. That's when the trouble starts.
Yeah. If it's throwing it down and perishing cold, you can bet 10 chilblains to a cuppy you're going to have to get out and go back to first lessons. Then it's unlash the trailers and steer the soaking things round by hand. First one way, then round the other side. God, you don't know if I have to pull your weight on this job. Silly, isn't it, Ma? And then to save cracking paving stones or buckling manhole covers, there you are playing drafts all over the slippery road.
Up at Grangemouth, of course, they must have been getting the site ready long before we were in this tangle. And by now, I should think the carpet was well and truly laid. But we still had quite a bit of ground to cover, including shop. When we came to that, I was all set for quite a bit of trouble. And so as to get up a good crawl, we decided to have an early start. 2,000 feet in 3 miles is some climbing, and I didn't want to get stuck on that mountain.
But it's the crowds gets me. Hundreds of them just to see this Tyr on the move. And you should have heard them when we had to do a backing stunt in Hamilton.
What a carry on. Bringing a thing like this for road, holding up traffic all over the place. Why do they not shift the thing by ship?
Oh, hi, you can see a ship will hold that long, can you know? But do you think they might strap it to the funnel?
Well, why can't they shift it in wee bits and then assemble it on the spot?
I suppose you reckon they can solder these things with a sixpenny iron and a tube of flux. Every unit of their joints has to be checked, man, with X-rays. My brother's in the works, and what he says is...
Oh, aye, you're right.
That was one of the places we hadn't expected trouble. It weren't much, but it's that sort of thing that cuts your average down. After that, you can start thinking of parking up for the night. And the garages aren't exactly interested either. So you just fix a place with the police and leave her. You know, looking at it all round, it hasn't been such a bad job, really.
Yeah, but you don't want to say nothing about our old garden party, Gov.
Garden party? Oh, you mean... Well, yeah. Well, there was that one place, of course, but that were a bit earlier on.
Yeah, just near the potteries. Mr. Skip said we'd have to go round to avoid getting stuck. Yeah, we had one end on a garden fence, our middle scratching itself against a tree, and the front end nosing around in the woods.
The last place anyone would have thought. Well, there were nothing for it. That didn't please the owner much, but he'll get a new fence out of it more than likely. And we couldn't move the tree against the middle of the column without cutting it. But those against the front were thinner, and we had to go at bending them with a crowbar to start with, but that wasn't much good. So we had to think out something a bit more drastic.
Yeah, I could see this one coming. Talk about the Navy. Buck up, mate. There's a lady driver here wants us to move over so she can get by.
Well, that gave us a few inches. Didn't give us much room to swing her, but we got clear after about 2 hours.
Yeah, a regular caution that do was. But we come through all right in the end. And when we finally got there, you should have seen the blazing reception we got. Yeah.
Anyway, we were there. And 4 days under schedule, too.
Yes, you've got to hand it to us transport blokes. Otherwise, we won't shift it, see? And where do you think you're off to? Going home, do you say? Oh, you've got some hopes. They got a job for us to do in Edinburgh. Shifting a load of Castle Rock, I think it is.